Good morning, everyone, and I hope you're having a beautiful Friday today. All the snow already melted here, which is pretty much what happens in the springtime. It'll snow and then just be gone the same day, and it looks like it's going to be a really nice day today. This morning, I'm going to start things a little differently. In my classroom, my kids know this, and if you guys are watching, I want you to help me out. We start with a good morning song. So we're gonna sing it, and we sing it in English first, and then we sing it in Spanish. So this might be new for some of you, and you'll get to learn something new. And my dogs would like to say hello and good morning as well. Bruce really wants to play right now. Not time, Bruce. It's not time. All right, are you ready for our good morning song? Here we go. Good morning, how are you? How are you? Very well, I thank you. Very well, I thank you. How about you? How about you? Spanish. Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien, gracias, muy bien, gracias. Y usted, y usted. And then we sing a Days of the Week song. So, again, my friends who are watching at home, if you know this, I want you to help me out. Ready? Here we go. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. There's Sunday and there's Monday, there's Tuesday and there's Wednesday, there's Thursday and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. Bless you. Okay, so now that we've listened to the days of the week, we're going to talk about what day it is today. Yesterday was Thursday. What day comes after Thursday? Do you remember?
You just said it.
I just said it. I did just say it, didn't I? Today is Friday. Friday. Can you tell me what sound you hear at the beginning of Friday? It's F, and that is an F. F says F. The month is March. Say it with me. March. Can you tell me what sound you hear at the beginning of the word? Listen again. March. That's right. And M says Here, I'm going to underline that for you. So F says F, like for finger, and M says like for yummy in my tummy.
Or for mom.
Okay, not right now, buddy.
Or for mom.
Or for mom. So today is the 20th day of March. And let's do the year together. Do you guys remember how? We're going to shake our arms up and down like this, okay? Ready? The year is 2020. The year is 2020. Good job, everyone. All right, today's lesson is How Full is Your Bucket? And that's actually the book that we're going to read today. Afterwards, I have a little craft for you that you can show your moms and dads or aunts and uncles. Maybe you can do it with brothers and sisters or cousins. And I think it could be something fun that you can do at home with your whole family. So first, we're going to read this story. How full is your bucket? Remember, this is called the title, and the title tells us the name of the story or the name of the book. This book was written by Tom Rath and Mary Reckmeyer. The people who wrote the story are called the authors. They write the words. It was illustrated by Maury J. Manning. The illustrator is the person who draws all of the pictures for us. All right, let's get started. Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. "I want to build with you," she said. Felix scowled. "Go away, you're too little." Scowled means that he made kind of a grumpy face. Can you show me a grumpy face? Can you make a grumpy face? Yeah. He didn't want to share it. He wasn't ready. His sister says, "I'm big." Felix says, "Stay back. You'll knock it over." "I can be very careful." "Go play with your baby toys, Anna," he said. Ooh, that made her feel really angry, and she's imagining being really mad at Felix. So what does she do? Thwack! She knocks over all of his blocks. They both call, "Grandpa!" They're both so upset. Grandpa shook his head. "Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket." Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. But when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket? Have you ever noticed that you have a bucket? Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. That means like being silly or being funny or playing a prank or a joke. But the next morning when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating above his head. When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. "I've got a meeting this morning and it's almost time to go. Anna, sit still." Oh boy, everyone looks like they're in a big hurry this morning. And what happens to Felix? He slipped and choco wheat scattered across the floor. "Felix," yelled his mom, "you should have used the stool to reach that." Oh boy, he made a big mess, didn't he? Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible drips spill out. Drip, drip. "Ha ha," Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip, there goes another drip from Felix's bucket. "Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus," scolded Mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the choco wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite, Buster, his dog, jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. Oh boy, it sure doesn't seem like Felix is feeling very good. All these drips keep dropping right out of his bucket. And can you see his bucket? It doesn't look very full, does it?
Not as full as it was before.
Not as full as it was before. Felix got onto the bus, and some kids started making fun of him. One kid said, "Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it." There goes another drip. And these girls and these boys were kind of talking about Felix, and that made him feel bad too. There goes another drip from his bucket. And then this big kid knocked Felix out of the way and said, "Watch out, shrimp." Oh, drip, there goes another one from Felix's bucket. It was still morning, and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. Can you see Felix's face? How does his face look?
Mad.
Yeah, it doesn't look very happy, does it? And his bucket is almost empty. I wonder how we can make him feel better. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, Felix secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. If you don't feel good, you don't want others to feel good sometimes. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something bad to happen. Mrs. Bumblenickel, his teacher, walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. On it, the teacher wrote, "Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class?" Felix grinned and felt a big drop land right in his bucket. It's filling back up because his teacher made him feel good about himself. So he started to read it, and he said that Giganotosaurus who wanted a pet by me, Felix. That's what his story was called. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places and oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped, even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't really like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. All these drops, drop, plop, plink, drop, all falling into his bucket because everybody was making him feel so good about himself. Then at lunch, Felix got a note in his lunch bag from his mom that said, "I love you." And look, he got another drop in his bucket. His bucket is filling back up. At gym time, the PE teacher said, "Team captains today are Veronica and Felix." Well, that made Felix feel good too, and he got another drop in his bucket. His art teacher told him he made a nice picture, and one of his friends in the hallway at school said that his backpack was cool. Look how full Felix's bucket is getting now. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. Bruce, stop. So then Felix started spreading drops around too, helping other people feel good to fill their buckets. He helped a teacher who dropped his books and papers on the floor, and look, drop, drop. Here's your baseball, catch. And that guy said, "Thanks, dude, look." Felix got a drop and the other kid got a drop. Can you see? Then Felix saw a lonely kid who was sitting all by himself on a bench. So Felix went over and said, "Hi, I'm Felix. Is it your first day?" And the little kid said, "Yes, my name is Amir." And look, they both got drops in their buckets. See, the strange thing was that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, Felix felt another drop in his own buckets. How cool. Felix could fill other people's buckets and his own bucket at the same time. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have an invisible bucket too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her." Poor Anna's crying. How sad. "Until then," said Felix, "do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks?" Look, his sister's feeling really sad about her doll. So Felix is going to try and help fill her bucket too. Let's see. And they did. And look at their buckets. What a good story. I have a craft for you guys today. And if you have the materials at home, you can make them. This is a bucket that I already made with just a little disposable cup. And you can poke some holes on the sides with your mom and dad or aunt and uncle or grandma and grandpa. And you can put a ribbon through the sides and then put a tag on it, because you can make one for each person in your family. Then you can make a roll, and you can use beans or cotton balls or marbles or anything you have around the house. And anytime someone says something nice that makes you feel good and fills your bucket, you can put one of those things in. So I have little beans in there, but you can also use cotton balls. And you can put them in until you fill your bucket. So that's one way. You can also use paper cups. I painted these for our family, so there's one for each of us. And what you can do is then take a pen and poke a hole in the sides. Make sure they're right across from each other. And remember, make sure a grown-up is helping you, or an older sibling or an older cousin. Then you can take some string or some ribbon or some yarn, whatever you have at home. Cut it. And then here, can you And you push the string through. Oh, I keep thinking I've got it. There it is. And then what you'll do is tie the middle.
But just don't.
And then you can pull. Hold on.
It doesn't have.
Then you can pull it from the top. And it might not stand up when it's on your counter or wherever you put it. You could hang it somewhere maybe. But then when you pick it up by the string, it looks like your own little bucket. Then you can kind of, like I said, fill it with cotton balls or beans or different things. Maybe rice or marbles. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect. Just do
your
best.
Yeah, just do your best. Okay, for now,
Bye-bye.
that's it. I hope you have a good morning.